Well, let's start with the day's market action. The Dalal Street bucked weak global cues with the Sensex and the Nifty gaining nearly 1% each in trade. Financial stocks and metal stocks led the rally. Anuj Singhal is here with the day's quick market wrap. Anuj.
Very strong day for the bulls, and this is not after a gap up. In fact, the market opened absolutely flat, and after that just built on through the day, and the Nifty ended with over 100-point gains. The bank Nifty once again outperformed as it has done over the last many days, and that index was up close to 1%. The Indian market has been the best performing market globally among the big markets, and this despite a general risk-off sentiment that you're seeing in the global market, where the dollar index has gone up to 110. Still, the Indian market seems to be outperforming. As I said, the large part of this move happened because of move in financials. So that was clearly one space where, again, there was outperformance. So names like ICICI Bank, Kotak, and Axis did well. Metals was the other pocket where we saw some gains. So names like Hindalco, JSW Steel, and Tata Steel did well. The heavyweight pockets, they also outperformed. So names like Reliance, ITC, and Larsen & Toubro as well were also higher. In the futures and options space, there was a bit of a return of laggards. Exide and Amara Raja were the top two gainers, both up between 6 and 8%. Indian Hotels has been on tear, up 5%. PVR was higher in trade. All in all, there's clearly a momentum in Indian market.
Right, Anuj, thanks a lot for that. Now, shifting focus to the money market, the Indian currency weakened against the dollar, trading just a few points away from the 80 per dollar mark. The US dollar has touched a fresh 20-year high in anticipation of further rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. In a major hit to the European Union currency, the euro has dropped below the US dollar for the first time in 20 years. The currency fell after Russia's energy supplier giant Gazprom said it will not be resuming gas supply to the European Union, citing oil leakages in the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. And well, speaking of Russia, the shutting down of this pipeline pushed gas prices up by a sharp 36% across Europe. Gazprom said that gas transmission would remain shut until the operational defects are fixed. The company had kept the pipeline shut even last week for routine maintenance checks. Europe has been accusing Russia of using gas supplies to blackmail European countries because of the Ukrainian conflict. CNBC's Steve Segwick joins us now with the latest. Steve, take us through what you're picking up, and how has the European Union reacted over closure of the gas pipeline?
Is there outright shock of what the Russians have done? Absolutely not. I mean, everybody who's game playing this situation, who is looking at the chess game being played between Putin and the West, knew that this was a possibility. But just let me make the point for a historical comparison. There was a Cold War, a vicious Cold War, an arms race between the West and the Soviet Union for many decades. The Russians never turned the taps off for energy coming to the West during that period. So President Putin has done something that the Soviet Union didn't do at the height of various crises over that period, turned off the taps to Europe as well. And is it logical? Well, from his point of view, maybe. Sowing dissension, creating a cost of living crisis, trying to create splits perhaps in the EU response and EU support of Ukraine as well, but crashing the European economy potentially, and let's be brutally honest about it, sending Europe into recession is not an outside scenario given this enormous price of gas. What I've been hearing a very robust response from policymakers. Now, I know some voters it may well be a different response. I started off by asking Mr. Gentiloni, then Mr. Le Maire, about their reaction to what Russia has done. Let's listen in.
Even if the weaponization of energy will continue or will increase in response to our decisions, I think that the European Union is ready to react. Of course, we will have to save energy, we will have to share energy, we have high level of storage, and we are not afraid of Putin's decisions.
The key point is to pass through this winter without too many difficulties for European economies and European citizens. That's the key point.
In terms of the Western Alliance as well, I spoke to Lindsey Graham, absolutely key US Republican senator, very, very close friend and confidant of Donald Trump as well, who may or may not make another run in 2024. He firmly believes that A, that the Ukraine can win the war, which I think is incredible, given the fact that he believes a lot of weaponry will go towards Ukraine from the West and from the United States especially. But B, he thinks that the Western alliance has been become more coordinated and perhaps reinvigorated by this as well. So if Mr. Putin was trying to split up the West, yes, in the short term he's creating a lot of pain. Over the medium to long term, the policymakers I've been speaking to think he's made a catastrophic and historic mistake.